So President Trump banning travel from 12 countries and placing restrictions on 7 others in the wake of national security concerns related to the Boulder terror attack.
The strength of the restrictions we're applying depends on the severity of the threat posed. The list is subject to revision based on whether material improvements are made, and likewise, new countries can be added as threats emerge around the world.
And in a separate proclamation, he moved to officially block new foreign students from getting visas to attend Harvard University, urging his administration to consider revoking current visas as well. And keep in mind, there's over 100,000 Chinese students here. Here to discuss is Arkansas Senator and Harvard grad, Senator Tom Cotton. Senator, first off, on the ban of those nations, how do you feel about it?
I commend the president for implementing this badly needed and overdue ban on countries where we really can't vet anyone. Countries have a history of known violence and terrorism. Take, for instance, Haiti and Somalia. You have gang violence that is basically controlling all of Haiti. You have Islamic terrorism across Somalia. And what does it even mean to vet someone from those countries? There's no governing institutions there that can do background checks. This has long been a lie from the left wing about how we're going to do background checks on illegal immigrants or people coming from dangerous countries. It's simply not possible. I mean, consider what we do for young Americans who want to go in the military or the law enforcement. You know, they have to say where they've lived. You call up the police department, you call the state police, you do background checks, you make sure that they're suited for the job. There are no institutions in many of these countries where you can do these things. So this is another common sense victory for President Trump and America's safety.
Senator, Congressman Dan Goldman says it's because they're not white. That's why Trump is looking to ban or limit them.
No, it's because they're dangerous and they could get us killed. We saw over the weekend in Boulder, Colorado, the danger of having foreign nationals come into this country without being properly vetted. And in many countries, they can't be properly vetted. We shouldn't allow people in from those countries if they're going to pose a risk to Americans.
So in your book, 7 Things You Can't Say About China, you really alerted the country to what the danger is. Now we find out specifically. We have these 2 Chinese Michigan students with CCP ties accused of smuggling a dangerous agro-terrorism fungus into the U.S. Their explanations are ridiculous. Do you really think that these are 2 renegade students looking to create havoc, or do you think they're curious scientists? Do you think this is CCP inspired?
Yeah, Brian, just like the curious scientists at the Wuhan labs that wanted to research bat-based coronaviruses. Look, we don't know the full story yet, but it's clear from what the FBI and the Department of Justice released is that they're up to no good. And I think it's a pretty safe default position that any Chinese national who gets an exit visa from China to come to one of America's universities is probably linked to the Chinese Communist Party or the People's Liberation Army. That's one reason why President Trump has said we're going to start severely restricting visas from hostile nations like China. We don't want a lot of Chinese spies running around America's premier research institutes. And that's why I'm introducing legislation that would prevent funding for these research institutions if they are hosting nationals from adversarial foreign countries like China.
I just don't understand. We're allowing 150,000 plus Chinese students to come here. Some major potential threats from China: mysterious seeds, as you just saw, spy craft. You got surveillance craft crossing the U.S. You know about the balloons. You also know they've infiltrated all in the White House communications. That's why they're using the Signal app. The land purchases of Chinese companies by military installations, cranes at U.S. ports, and TikTok. By the way, as evil as it gets. We have to do what the Senate and House want you to do and ban it. But when it comes to land purchases, this governor in Arizona pushed back on that and vetoed it. How does that make any sense?
Well, it doesn't make sense to me, Brian. You know, in Arkansas, we've restricted the purchase of land by Chinese nationals. Again, there's a pretty safe default assumption until proven wrong that Chinese nationals who are coming into the United States and buying up land, especially sensitive land, like land near Air Force bases or other critical infrastructure or vast swaths of our farmland, are probably linked to the Chinese Communist Party or the People's Liberation Army. So I think it's a common sense step that the Arizona legislature tried to take. Unfortunately, the Democratic governor, in a partisan action, vetoed that legislation.
Real quick, do you want to see the president take the sanctions bill up and put those sanctions on Russia? Got over 80 votes in the Senate for it.
Well, as he posted yesterday on social media, it would clearly give him more leverage with Vladimir Putin, who has shown no indication that he wants a peace deal, that he even wants a ceasefire. It's pretty simple. When Ukraine attacks Russia, they're attacking Russia's military bases. When Russia attacks Ukraine, they're attacking residential neighborhoods and children's hospitals. We can all hope that we get peace, but it's clear that Vladimir Putin, once again, is involved in unprovoked aggression and depraved violence against innocent civilians. I think the sanctions legislation would give the president an even stronger hand. I do, too. I think that the Ukrainians have proved brilliant and resourceful. I cannot believe what they were able to pull off. Senator Tom Cotton, thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.